Hello and welcome to the Astro Vibe of the Week. I'm Shira. I am so grateful to be here right now. So happy that you're here with me and taking the time out of your busy life to tune into the rhythms and the cycles of the cosmic intelligence. So let's get into it. Holy moly, this is a very, very potent week. And we hear that a lot, but this is a different kind of potent energy with a mixing amalgamation of a lot of different energies, emotions, experiences, closure, cord cutting, all at the same time. So I want to start with what is the major player in the sky right now? Even as we go up to this new moon in Sagittarius, which is happening on Friday, the 19th of December, and has so much going on, including a stellium with Mars and Venus, which is just so much potent energy. And I'll talk about that in a moment. But first, the biggest key player energy that's happening right now, especially as we are closing this 9-year energy that's still going. We're still in the snake shedding. We're still having clearings. We're still letting go. Part of us might want to jump ahead to the next, but we're still in the thick of it. We're still in the muck, in the cocoon of the caterpillar, having a regenerative process before it enters its new life. And a huge part of that is the planet Neptune at 29 degrees Pisces. So 29 degree is so special because it's the last degree of the sign before it shifts into a new one. That means that the whole Neptunian cycle, where Neptune has been going through Pisces, that started in 2011, that was a long time ago. 2011 is coming to a close. And I wanted to pause on this and sink into it before we get into the new moon energy, the new energy, because since 2011, collectively, there's been a learned experience of ways that we have disconnected from ourselves and our spiritual journey and outsourced our spiritual power, our intuition, our wisdom to external sources. Now, without ruffling too many feathers, this could look like giving your power to a guru, where there are certain yogic lineages where there's one person at the top and everyone is bowing to that person and trusting everything they say and not thinking critically, which is a safe, smart, healthy thing to do, to have a healthy awareness of what is true. True. I mean, true for you and your journey, and that's going to look different for everybody. So, I can just think of some, like the first documentary that comes to mind as a Kundalini teacher is the documentary from HBO called The Breath of Fire, where it talks about the history of Kundalini yoga brought to the USA and how it was portrayed as something that it's actually not really that. And how there is one person at the top that was the almighty knower of all and was put on a pedestal, and then through the behaviors and actions was taken off that pedestal. So anytime that we're putting a spiritual teacher or a lover, whatever it is, some kind of teacher, some sort of relation, we're putting it on a pedestal. and we're looking up and we're letting them have more power of the truth and of the spiritual, intuitive, natural wisdom, natural source connection that runs through all of things. We're taking some of that power away from ourselves. And this is part of the spiritual journey of coming home to ourselves. Now, with Neptune and Pisces, it can look like that. It can look like a guru being taken off the pedestal. It can also look like outsourcing our ability to feel our emotions to an addiction, to something outside of us. Outsourcing our ability to feel our emotions, or outsourcing feeling at all, kind of suppressing feeling by escaping through television, through eating, through drugs, through alcohol, through lovers, sex, whatever it is. It's the seeking that is outside of our own inner wisdom, and the forgetting that you are source. You literally are source. Connection runs right through you. But Neptune in Pisces has had us explore and feel since 2011 all the ways that we have disconnected from that source and tried to fill that void outside of ourselves. And if I can speak personally, in 2011, I was in the throes of partying, sex addiction. I was doing drugs every night. I came home and continued that journey into an eating disorder until I got sicker and sicker and sicker, mentally, physically, spiritually, trying to get something outside of myself that I wasn't able to access inside of myself, until boom, I hit the absolute rock bottom and came home to myself, came home to astrology, came home to the practice of yoga, and went on that deep understanding that first had to come through a lot of darkness and a lot of pain and a lot of discomfort. And I had my own come to Jesus moment, where the come to Jesus was just coming home to myself. So since 2011, take some time to think back on your spiritual journey. Were there times where you were so lost, so confused, so in the darkness, so in your own veils of illusion, that you couldn't connect to your power? And maybe that's still something that you're moving through, and there's no shame in that either. We're still undergoing the process of change, and at the 29th degree, sometimes it can feel more intense. We can feel a little yuckier, can feel a little bit more like a squeeze. Think about when you're running a race. Not that I've literally ever run a race in my life. That's like not my vibe. I actually hate running. But maybe I've watched a race. I have run before. I just didn't like it. Okay, I had to run races in middle school and I just didn't like it. So anyway, I do remember I've done this before. So you're running a race and it's like that last stretch where you're like, I can do this. I've got this. I did all this behind me. I've come so far. And then boom, you're able to cross the finish line. It's like that last stretch, you need the most resilience. And in that last stretch, you need to really dig deep and remember how far you've come, where you have come from, how beautiful the darkness, the light, the messiness, the ick, the yuck, the hardship, the pain, the loss, all of it is part of the human experience. And that is Pisces. So that is Neptune at 29 degrees Pisces. Is we are in these human bodies, and the first wound that we have is a separation from our mother, the separation from that safe space. And it feels like when we're born, we're separated from source. And that's like the number one pain. when it all boils down to it, it is separation from source energy. And this journey we've been on is finding our way to what source means for us, what spirituality means for us. And it looks different for every single person. And remembering that it also runs through us and is not outside of us. And all of these spiritual ways of being are practices of remembrance, rituals of remembrance, whether it's through mantra, whether it's through yoga, whether it's through your tarot cards, whether it's through astrology, whether it's through going to temple or church or the mosque or whatever you do, a practice of remembering that we are source, we are powerful, and we are connected. So here we are at this 29-degree Neptune era, and we're going to be in this energy until the end of January. So even though we're going into this 1 year and it's like, oh my God, a new thing, we're in it. We're still we're little fishies swimming in the water. That's Pisces. Two fish going in opposite directions, a little bit confused about where they're going. Doesn't matter. They're going to get where they need to get when they get there. Okay. So we have to have a lot of trust in the unseen realms and in the cosmic energy, in the unfolding wisdom of the nature that we are. So there is an unfoldment that occurs. And as we shift into the 12-19 new moon, I just wanted to drop the energy of Pisces into your frequency and have you remember what you have overcome and how you have found a remembrance of your spiritual connection, of your connection to source, of your connection to intuition, and a sovereign inner knowing. Because when we get into this Aries energy, when Saturn shifts into Aries and Neptune shifts into Aries, and we're in this 1 degree space, we're going to want to remember our paths that we've traveled to arrive. Because the one energy, new and fun, yes, but also one, it's exciting, but it's unknown. And it will take time and it will be a recalibration. It's like when you go to a new country, it's really exciting, but then you remember you don't speak the language and you're like, oh shit, how do I order pizza? Okay, everyone knows pizza, but how do I eat? How do I survive and thrive in this new land where I don't speak the language? I don't know where anything is. My GPS isn't working. I don't even know where my hotel is. Like there are things we are going to have to take our time learning and recalibrating to. And we are going to want to call upon our deep patience in order to do that. We're not going to be like galloping fucking stallions with rainbow trails behind our back every second of every moment. We're going to want to be grounded and remember that when we go into a new journey, there's a potential for disorientation, but it doesn't matter because we have our practice that allows us to remember our connection to source. So before we go on, what are 3 practices? Pen and paper. Grab your magic wand and your paper and write down 3 practices that you can anchor into from now into this new energy and through 2026 that you can anchor into over and over again. That might change, but it doesn't matter, to make sure that you have got some semblance of roots in creation in the change that will inevitably occur, because you have cleared, shifted, changed so much, and the energy will continue to change and will continue to cut the cords of people, places, and things that don't serve where we want to go, that don't serve our spiritual truth, that don't serve the truth in your heart. We're going to continue to clip those cords and let those things go and thank them for what they've taught you, which brings me to the new moon in Sagittarius. So this new moon in Sagittarius, let me share my screen. So this new moon at 28 degrees Sagittarius, also bring your eyes to the top of the screen here, also is in a very powerful stellium with Venus in Sagittarius at 24 degrees and Mars in Capricorn at 3 degrees. So we've got this like mystical, masculine energy, feminine energy, solar energy, lunar energy, Venusian and Martian energy all together within a 10-degree orb. Okay, and that is amplifying not only the Sagittarius energy, which is about zooming out and seeing the bigger picture of what could be, connecting to the higher potential of yourself. Like, what is the next thing that you want to step into? What is that way of being that you want to experience every day? What are the things that you want to actually do in order to feel the way that you want to feel? Sagittarius is ruled by the planet Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of blessings and abundance. Also, the planet that expands whatever it is that you put your energy on. So very important to be aware of where you are giving your energy, who you are giving your energy to, what you are giving your energy to, and to make sure to get your magic wand, your pen, and to invest your heart in writing down exactly what it is that you want to call in and exactly what it is that you want to connect to, because this is a fortuitous, it's a moon of blessings. This is absolutely a new moon of blessings. And to have Venus and Mars like the bread and the sun and the moon like the peanut butter and jelly in this all together sandwich is to be able to not only connect with the Venusian magnetism within yourself, this like feminine energy within yourself. And when Venus is in Sagittarius, it's about freedom. It is, what is my truth? What do I really want in my heart of hearts? What is the truth about it? Sagittarius loves honesty and loves truth. And when it can't be honest and it can't be truthful, it feels like it's dying, y'all. Like it hurts. It's painful to hold back and to not tell the truth, your truth, what's true for you. So Venus in Sagittarius asks from the heart, Venus is heart energy, feminine energy, the rose frequency. What is in your heart? What do you desire for the next 28-day cycle? You don't have to set goals for 2026, but you can if you want to. But it's really about the frequency of your heart's desire and giving yourself permission to lean into it. Now, for some of you, that means that there's still cords that need to be cut. There's still things that need to be released in order to honor that truth. And that's very Neptune 29 degrees Pisces and Saturn 25 degrees Pisces and the North Node in Pisces, asking for all of that shedding and clearing in these final moments. But really, we have all the way into January, really a little into February, to continue that clearing process. We're not in a rush, but this Sag New Moon and all of the voices around it, especially on social media, are going to make you feel pressure, like go, go, go. But the truth is, just tap into your heart. All the wisdom is right there. All the truth is right there. And that's the Sagittarius frequency. What would it feel like to live a life that your heart feels lit up, joyful? What would it feel like to blossom open, to expand? and feeling whatever it is that you're feeling around whatever it is that you need to walk away from or whoever you're walking away from in order to access your truth. It's not an easy path. It's the most challenging of being a human is that cycle of newness, because in order to do that, we have to let go. And when we let go of anything, the ego thinks we're literally about to die, but we're not. Maybe a part of us is, but that's the way to the next level of you and your truth and your potential. Hold a moment. Just had a little Mexico water delivery, but I'm back now. Okay, the truth. And the magic on the other side is Mars, the masculine energy. So Venus is the feminine energy, Mars is the masculine energy. And we've got this masculine, feminine, peanut butter jelly, Jupiterian magic, Sagittarius, Archer sandwich going on. Mars helps us take action on what we want. Mars allows us to not just dream and be in the vibration, but to walk the talk, to do the thing, to not just be in the thought process of it and the dreamland of it, but to actually take the actions on it. Mars is the doer, the action taker. In Capricorn is so freaking supportive. This couldn't be a more powerful alignment for a new moon like this, because Mars in Capricorn gives us determination, gives us the will to do. Even if that will to do is to take your pen and paper and just literally write it down and then take one tiny baby step on one of the things, one tiny, teeny baby step on one of the things that you want to do, because Capricorn is the builder. It's slow, it's steady, it takes time to build, and understands that anything that's really worth doing, like anything that has a legacy behind it, that's Capricorn. Capricorn wants to leave behind a legacy. It wants to build something that is in high service to all. A lot of people don't realize this, but Capricorn is the energy of service to the people. It needs to feel like it is on purpose. It has a purpose, that there is a purpose in this society for it. Mars in Capricorn reminds us that you have a purpose, that each one of us is here to serve in some way. Now, that doesn't mean don't take a break. It doesn't mean don't rest. It's totally normal if this week you feel depleted, if you feel tired, if you feel like you just need to unplug, because sometimes the highest wisdom through Capricorn, the doer, the action taker, the builder, the worker, the workaholic, the highest wisdom is actually to lay your ass down on that couch, boo. Just do nothing. Sometimes that's the best freaking medicine. And if you can take time to rest before the new moon, on the new moon, you will be in alignment. Because we also are going into a week of a disseminating moon, which means less and less light. We're going more into the darkness, more into the void, which we've been learning about with Pisces anyway, closure, clearing, the unseen realms, where we need to connect to our inner selves. We need to slow things down. We need to get quiet and still and go into meditation, go into our heart and our soul in order to take the next step. And as a Capricorn, hello, I'm a Capricorn, and my birthday is on December 28th. Feel free to wish me a happy birthday. One of my greatest lessons has been, in the past, I would continue to charge forward so tired, so depleted. Ignore it. Keep charging forward. Keep going, keep going, keep going, thinking that that's what I needed to do, that that was the way, that I didn't have a choice. And now in my elder years, I know that the more I can rest and the more time I give myself to non-do, to meditate, to be with myself, to be quiet, the more creativity comes on the other side. It's like you can't, big cliche here, but you can't pour from an empty cup. You know it, and I know it. Great Spirit knows it, but we want to forget that sometimes in a culture of productivity, that is also a culture of one power over another, and a culture. Now I'm getting on a Capricorn rant because Capricorn is the patriarchy. But that patriarchal culture that wants to keep us in constant productivity and ignore the cycles and the rhythms of nature. So let's also remember we're going into the deep rest. We're in the deep rest of winter, and we're about to go into the winter solstice, where the light will start to come back earlier and earlier, but the new moon is before that. It's like the most perfect timing to go into the void, to go into the darkness before the light returns. It couldn't be more aligned. This new moon is also during Hanukkah, so very magical, right before Christmas, that rebirthing time. So let's talk about what are the actions that would really align for this new moon? Like, what actions can you take? So first of all, we talked about resting. If you feel the call to rest and to protect your energy, this green Tara card came out, spiritual supreme protection. Before I started this video, I pulled this card. You are protected. Cords are being cut. Move beyond limitation and trust. I love that. So beautiful. So no need to push forward. If that's not the vibe you're feeling, be where you are and feel what you're feeling. That's the first piece of advice astrologically I would give. Neptune at 29-degree Pisces. Hey girl, you need to cry? Cry it out. Cry it out. Need to be alone? Be alone. You need to share? Call your friend and share. Not a time to isolate. There's a difference between isolation and restoration. And in your heart, you know the difference. So rest if you are feeling called to rest. Meditate. Go into stillness. Go into silence. Allow yourself to be in the nothing space before this new moon. And then on the new moon, absolutely write 10 intentions you have just for the next 28-day cycle. Just trust that if you write intentions for the next 28-day cycle, that as you shift into the next cycle, the new energy, ideas, creativity, magic will arrive to you. So you don't have to do the work to force anything to arrive. Right now is still shedding, letting go, even through the new moon. If you have big insights for 2026, magic wand them, write them down. But the big thing that I'm going to do with myself and with our Abracadabra astrology cohort is, before this new moon, to write down 10 things you are proud of yourself for from 2025. 10 things, 10 ways you can celebrate yourself. Things that you have grown through, challenges you have overcome, hardships you have crossed the river over, the strength inside of yourself. What can you celebrate about the path that you've been on? Since January, of 2025. So much has changed, so much has shifted. Celebrate yourself, even if your biggest celebration is that you finally allowed yourself to feel. Holy shit, that's huge. That could be the biggest celebration, whatever it is. 10 things you're proud of yourself for before the new moon. On the new moon, your 10 intentions. And then this is the weird, like, woo part I'm going to bring in anyway, because I'm being guided to share it, even if it's like almost silly. But you write down your 10 intentions, piece of paper, 10 intentions. And the moon is at 8:43 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, so it's a pre-bedtime moon. A great new moon to go into your dream world with your imagination, with your intentions. So you take your 10 intentions, you put them under your pillow, and you light a candle before you go to bed. And either seated or laying down, knowing your 10 intentions, or even just choosing your top 3, you rehearse in your mind's eye, you rehearse those things happening. You rehearse it. Like the way an Olympic champion rehearses winning the gold medal over and over and over again, and that is how they win. They do mental rehearsal, otherwise known as visualization, and feeling the energy. This is the Neptune in Pisces and the North Node in Pisces and the Saturn in Pisces, emotional vibration, water frequency, teaching us to feel, to align with our manifestation and our new neural networks being built. So you close your eyes and you visualize it as though it's happening in the moment. So for example, let's say I want to host a retreat in Tulum, and I want there to be 12 women. I'm going to visualize 12 women, well, 13. I want to be the 13th. The 13 moon cycles, 13 women sitting in a circle drinking cacao. I'm going to visualize it. I'm going to feel it. I'm going to feel my heart open. I'm going to feel what it would feel like to be in that moment. And when you do that, neuroscience has shown us that when you do that, your brain fires and wires new circuits, and your brain thinks it's happening. And when your brain thinks it's happening, your vibrational quality, the cells in your body, every part of your existence aligns with it happening. And the ease at which it occurs totally changes. You can literally bend time by doing this. So instead of being in the energy of lack, I wish, I want, it's already happening and you feel it. And you go through each of your intentions or your top 3 before bed with the candle. And then when you're done, you blow out the candle and you let yourself drift into dreamland, dream world, and you let your visualizations integrate into every cell of your body and into your subconscious mind. So if you do this before you go to bed and you let yourself get in that liminal space, that like in between space before you fall asleep, you are going to have so much more amplification of that subconscious reprogramming. One of the best ways to reprogram your mind to make something seem real that hasn't happened yet is to do it when you're falling asleep and when you're first waking up, because your brain is in a different wave. You've got different brain waves going on that are more apt to these subliminal messaging and to be reprogrammed. So you want to do that, okay? Seems silly, but is the real deal, okay? Real deal neural reprogramming. So you write down your 10 intentions, you rehearse them in your mind, and you feel them in your body. Oh my God, that would feel amazing. Blow out your candle, go to bed. You're in your dream world. When you wake up the next morning, try to do dream recall. Hand under the pillow, pull out your 10 intentions. And then if you want to take it a next level, next step, get creative with it. because with all this Piscean energy, North Node, Saturn, Neptune, with all this Piscean energy, all this water energy, we want to tap into the creative realm. So a vision board, whether you're doing it with magazines or you're like drawing it out or whatever it is, just get creative. I'm not going to give you specific rules, specific outlines and boundaries of how to do it, but read your list, either your top 3 or the whole 10 things that you are activating in this next 28-day cycle, and get creative, get artistic with it. You don't have to be a paid artist to be creative. Your creativity could be with crayons, it could be with markers, it could be with paint, it could be with magazine cutouts. You get to decide. So whatever you do, have the most beautiful transition into the new moon, into the winter solstice, into the new year. Send me birthday wishes. I am so grateful for you. I'm sending you so much love and blessed magic to you. I will see you on the other side.